Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. GhettoRig episode 226. We got some exciting guests in the house for you, but before we jump right into it, my name is Jay. As you know, all the way to my right is my co-host Eddie. Behind the camera, we have Miggy. And today, guys, without further ado, two words about our sponsors: UFC Gym Largo 1 and 2, Pinellas Park and Largo, and then Vitality 1 and 2. Go check them out. But I want to dive right into it. And again, Chris is back on the couch. I know that sounds.
It's not that kind of couch.
Little Cornish.
It's not that kind of couch. Don't worry, Chris.
That's what you guys promised me, though.
You can keep your clothes on. And then after the cameras turn off, we have a different set of cameras that come in.
As long as that one's still rolling.
They have to be waterproof, you know.
So Chris, you're back. You got some exciting news for us. Anyway, quick introduction about yourself. Just very quickly, just let us know name and what you do and so on and so forth.
Yeah, my name's Chris. I've been training at the UFC gym. I work as a PO out here in the state of Florida. Appreciate you guys having me back on here.
Appreciate
you.
Yeah,
but it's popular demand actually. Everybody always asks about you. So Chris, you got some exciting news for us.
Yeah, man. So I've been training for a bit now. I've been training MMA since they started the MMA classes at UFC gym. Took another level up. I just signed with Aftershock Management, so I got Eric going to be my manager for my fights. A lot of things are rolling, man. I'm getting hit up by a lot of...
and Eric is also the guy that has the... What's that boxing, right? Shark boxing or something like that?
Aftershock Boxing and then Death Squad Boxing.
Death Squad Boxing.
Yeah, with Buff.
Buff, yeah. Buff is part of that too?
The Death Squad Boxing, yeah.
Yeah. And Buff this weekend just took the first place in CFFL.
Oh,
right?
really?
What, was it Buff?
Are you talking about for Anthony?
Anthony. Isn't that his?
No, that's not his guy.
Okay, never mind. I'm mixing up. Who's Buff, man?
Buff is a little, he's a shorter guy, boxing coach.
Oh, that's right. That's Buff. And then who's the other person?
Sam?
Oh, Sam and Buff, they're together on that squad boxing.
Oh, no, Eric. Eric and Buff are the...
Eric is the tall white guy?
Yep.
Salt and pepper?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But, yeah, man, I just signed with them for my management team. Pretty excited, man, because I've been getting hit up by a lot of people they're willing to do catch weights because I'm not at the heavyweight weight class yet. And I'm just excited to see where this goes because it's starting to catch traction. It's like a wildfire, and it's going everywhere right now.
So it'll be competing in MMA, right?
Yeah.
And when you're starting, right, so it'll be amateur. I'm assuming like an amateur under an amateur promotion, and it'll be like 3 rounds, 5 minutes, or is it less time? Is it less like how does it work on amateur?
So it's for just regular fights, it's 3 3-minute rounds.
3-3, okay.
And then if you're going for a title, it's 5 3-minute rounds. And you gotta do 6 of those in order to go pro.
Gotcha.
I'm hoping.
And then you have to have how many pro fights? About 8 pro fights. That puts you on the track for UFC, right?
That or like the PFL. Honestly, I'm really leaning towards one championship. So that's pretty cool. Their belt looks dope. It's a dope belt. Yeah. I don't know if you guys seen that one yet.
And I know for you, like a lot of these guys do it because it's their life, but then there's also that financial, financial aspect of it, right? Where they get paid for, doing this. But for you, from what I understand, it's more like the actual process, right? Like, it's good that you get money, whatever, if you win, but.
Yeah, man, I'm in it for the love of it, man. I wrestled my whole life. Took a time off from doing anything, and it's like a drug. I needed that fix again. Yeah. And I started doing the jiu-jitsu, got that fix a little bit. Did the first tournament, won the first tournament, accidentally broke a dude's leg. But it wasn't the fix that I was looking for. So, and then I started doing the MMA classes with Sam in the morning when they first started them, and I was instantly hooked. Like that's what I was missing. So now it's like addicting. Like that's all I think about. Like if I have a downtime at work, I'm like close my door and I'll start shadowboxing in my office. Like it's just constantly on my mind. Like if I'm not doing anything or I'm not on my phone, that's the first thing I think of.
The dedication is what it's going to take.
Yeah, definitely a lot of dedication. My girl's real supportive of it too, so it's all coming together.
That's good.
And where are you at with your progress right now? What do you think where you at as far as like first day doing it versus second day doing it, so on and so
So
forth?
the
To
first day doing it, I looked like a fish out of water, man. Striking was not my friend. Like I was just getting hit in the face. I was like, what do I do? Like, so I instantly revert back to just grappling, and it's cool doing. You see like the different type of people you spar with. You know what their strengths are and their weaknesses.
Yeah, styles.
But it's always I always feel like wrestling is the best base for MMA because you predict where the fight's gonna go. If you want to stay standing, we'll stay standing. But if you want to go to the ground, we're going to the ground. And doing jiu-jitsu with like Jay and them helped out a lot. So like these guys are only like strikers that are coming in for the MMA classes. It's pretty easy to get them down and control them, especially doing the jiu-jitsu now, knowing the side control, mount, stuff like that. Because you get used to your body and the way your body moves.
Mm-hmm.
And like if they push you one way, you know which way to go and get the leverage. So it's just all now coming together. Now I see the punches coming, so I'm able to slip more punches instead of get hit more,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy because everything's slowing down for me. When I first
Can you
started,
pull up Chris's Instagram, please?
when I first started, it was like super fast, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But now everything's slowing down, so I'm able to see. And
I feel like the striking thing when you start to kind of a lot of people like they tell you like, oh, look at their
Go
chest
down.
or look at their hands or look at like certain areas, and you start to realize it's
That
not
one
really
right there
like
with the bag.
focusing on one thing because a lot of different, especially with MMA when the striking is so diverse, you start basically looking at the body as a whole and looking for the tells of whatever may happen next, right? There's always going to be a telegraph, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they call in striking when you telegraph strikes. So that nobody really in a live fight a lot of times isn't at least telegraphing a little bit.
Yeah.
And so learning to pick up on all those little cues of like the shoulders, the hips, the feet moving, everything, the entire body. I mean, the main aspect they usually say like look at the chest because that's where you're kind of looking at the main torso and that's where you're gonna get like the initial movement from because people who strike learn to strike from their base, not just throwing hands. But when that starts to come to you, when you start striking, getting hit in the face enough, and you start learning that shit, and you're able to start slipping stuff and not getting hit as much, it's one of the most satisfying things, especially like being able to slip punches back to back and then hit somebody. That shit it feels like, it's a weird thing to say when you're fighting, but it feels poetic almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a weird thing. That's why, and jiu-jitsu can kind of get you the same thing when you're flowing, especially it's all about when you have that little bit of more experience against the other person or you're just in that flow state. But that's a really cool thing about martial arts is that flow state. And you can get it in jiu-jitsu, you can get it in striking, you can get it in wrestling and all the different kind of martial arts. I don't see it in anything else, though. Like, I've never been in that same exact, like, so like not tunnel vision but that strong flow state like I have in martial arts and anything else in life.
Because it's meditative, man. Like that, martial arts are meditative. The reason they're meditative because you don't think about anything else, just that one thing, and you just kind of let everything else go.
And it's almost not even like you're thinking about it. You're just
not
flowing.
You're just there
in a weird way. Like even though you're getting hit in the face, it's gonna sound crazy. It's peaceful. Like I'm at peace once the cage locks. Like it's just me and him. That's all I got to worry about. Your problems that you have.
They go away, bro.
The problems you have the day leading up to training is gone at the door. As soon as the cage locks and you hear that little thing go into this latch, I'm at peace. Which is weird to say because you're locked.
Yeah,
you're locked
in
up.
a cage with another man.
And I think that has to do with the job that you have, right? As a PO officer, you deal with so much shit throughout the day, and you have to think about so many things, and your head is so busy, and you're worrying about this and that, and then you get inside the cage, and all that disappears. Like it's just emptiness. It's just like there's no noise.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes me keep going back to jiu-jitsu because it doesn't matter who I'm rolling with. It could be like today I was rolling with this 12-year-old kid. Clearly, he's just starting. He can't even keep his own weight on his feet yet, right? But like nothing around matters. You know what I mean? You're just almost like, just like you said, you're at peace. It's meditative, man. Like a lot of people will go pay a lot of money to learn how to meditate. All they have to do is join a jiu-jitsu gym or join a
Some kind of
fighting
martial
gym.
art.
Yeah. But it has to be full contact, right? Like, now I'm sure karate has some aspects of that. Taekwondo has some aspects of that. Kickboxing. But I think, like, if you were to take it, I think there's 3 primary sports, maybe 4 that take this, and that would be kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, right? And that's pretty much it.
I would throw Muay Thai in there
Muay Thai, kickboxing, you know.
yeah.
I see it in all of them. Even the point ones and blitz style ones like karate. It's just, it's very similar. I mean,
Yeah, but I think the damage that you could potentially take is so much bigger with kickboxing versus karate.
yeah,
if you're
damage. But I'm saying
comparing.
like the flow state thing.
Yeah,
Like you can get it in all of these different sports.
yeah. Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, they have karate in Olympic Games, and they go out there and they fucking scream, and they have to be super loud as they do their move, and like that's part of the like scoring system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That screaming. I don't get that. Like, I don't get.
I don't think that's
that
part of the scoring system.
I don't know, bro.
Come on.
Like,
Just roasting karate like that. Saying
well, I
this-
mean,
this
karate
screaming
needs to
is
be
part of-
roasted. I mean, karate had its own space somewhere, sometime, but karate is not a very complete martial art, right? Like, if you take out of those, the striking martial arts, I think kickboxing's got it. No one can compete with kickboxing. I don't care what you say. You can't take somebody from karate, throw them in a kickboxing match, and they win. Taekwondo, and they win. You know, boxing, and they win. They can't. Just kickboxing is just a complete martial art as far as striking goes, right?
And I think the only fighters I've ever seen that can implement karate into like a mixed martial arts was Stephen the Wonder Boy Thompson.
Yeah, Wonder
Yeah.
Boy,
And then
MVP.
Venom Pidge. Yeah, those are the only 2 I've ever seen.
And,
That was
and
like
then what's his name? Canadian guy, white boy.
Well, yeah, he did have like a karate background.
He did have a Shotokan, I think, karate background.
Um,
But to this day, he'll go to the gym to Austin and he'll roll with fucking
GSP, you talking about?
GSP. Yeah, he'll still go to Shotokan.
Boss Ruin had a karate background, if I'm not mistaken.
was it karate?
I think so.
Yeah. See, like these stances, you have to do these specific stances, and they have to be perfect. You know what I mean, in order to score your points. But like, see how their face is completely open. A kickboxing guy would have already at this point would have capitalized on that, right? Like there would have been a head to the, you know, foot to the head at this point. You know what I mean? Because face is not covered at all.
I think this is more towards like form.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is more of a show and to show the form of your karate. Obviously, you would not go out into a fight and be like, I know karate, and like execute this in the exact same form that it is taught. Like, this is all situational, and
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
these are various techniques or combinations.
this is why I don't understand. This is why I don't understand karate, right? Because like they practice the form, but how functional is that form, right? Like in an actual situation, how functional is it?
Not extremely, no.
You know what I mean? How much of it are you going to use? Right. So, I don't know, man. But yeah, you're right, man. Like people will sit there, oh, go meditate. No, motherfucker, just join the jiu-jitsu gym.
So what's the next like micro goal for you for the next like step in this kind of journey you're going through right now?
It's fighting, man. I've been watching a lot of my teammates fight. Like I went to go watch Sam fight.
Right. So you're just kind of like pushing towards getting into that
Yeah, man.
competition.
I love watching the guys fight, but I feel like a caged animal just watching.
Joe's got a
Yeah.
point. Look at this irony of PR trying to keep people out of the cage in real life, but goes in the cage after the day is over. That's deep. That's true.
So are you? I mean, Jay said something about like you already had been approached or asked about
Yeah.
some fights. And
So I was actually believing I was talking to
stuff.
Corey.
CFA maybe?
Muggenberger,
Yeah, and he's
he's another cool guy.
yeah he's
Corey?
he's in fight
love
relations.
Corey. I love Corey.
With
Yeah, they're doing a whole league, I think.
MFL.
MFL, he's like in charge of the league or something like
So,
that. Yeah, he's doing big things out there. Shout out to Corey. If you're
Yeah,
listening.
shout out Corey.
I was talking to him, and he talked to his guy that owns the league, and they have a event coming up with June 27th. It just didn't work with the schedule.
Yeah.
Out in Vegas. But I told Corey, like, if you have another one, anytime between May and July is when my son's here. So I don't get him often, so I like to keep that time for my son. So anytime outside of that, I'm willing to fly wherever, whenever
How old is
to
your
go.
kid?
He's 10, about to be 11 in
Are
July.
you bringing him to the gym?
Yeah.
With you?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Badass.
But I was talking to him. I got hit up by a promotion in California to fight recently too. The everybody's been fighting at Vigilant and the OCC, and then there's another one that I can't think off the top of my head that also fights at OCC. So like, there's a lot of promotions. Eric has.
Is it not Cage? No, what? Something
What is
Cage, right? It's I think it's something Cage or something Warrior or something like that.
Oh
I know
no,
it's not Cage Works. That's something else. But
I'm not sure.
but Eric has a lot of connections because he used to do the promotion stuff in New York. So Eric also has a lot of people in New York that have promotions for fighting. So like, he's just like it was just a no-brainer to go with him, man, because he has all these connections to get your name out there, and that's really what you need.
yeah,
That so. Now, do you have anything scheduled for right now, or not yet?
Not yet. I was working with Corey to get the fight in June 27th, but it just didn't work out. So I've been talking to Sam, and Sam said he can give me a card as early as May. But me personally, I want to get my striking. I'm a perfectionist, just like from wrestling,
get
and
it
it's
right.
and it's hard for me to be like, yeah, let me just fucking throw me in there.
But remember, here's the thing. Remember, in a heydays of UFC, right? Remember who won the first 5? It was the wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys,
Yeah.
right? So I think you having that a strong wrestling background, and if your striking is not there yet, you still have a leg up because your goal was gonna be.
I see the issue with that though is just the strikers are very weary of the situation. You know,
Yeah.
they understand.
So they don't want to take fights with wrestlers most of the time.
Yeah.
So once they find out you wrestled or you did some type of like ground stuff, most of them won't take the fight, which is hard if you're trying to get fights because people pull out. They're like, agree to the fight, and then they find out who you are, and then they pull out of the fights. So I want to be squared away to be like, listen, dude, like, we can throw if you want to throw. Like, I don't care one way or the other.
yeah.
No, bro. See, I know what you're saying, but at the end of the day, you have to play to your strengths. Like, I don't give a shit if the guy wants to throw. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it's a fight. You know, there's gonna be a W and there's gonna be a L. You know, and W is yours if you play to your strengths. Like, that's what makes that black the fighting nerds. Fighting nerds team so fucking good is because they literally will sit there and analyze, use AI
didn't
and
see
kinds
what
of
they
things
did?
to analyze the shit out of the
They
fights.
hired a professional
Yes.
analyst
Yeah.
to
Professional
come in
analysts
I did
to
see
come
that.
in and
and
dissect
analyze
the
footage
fights.
and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what makes
and this
him
guy's
good.
like has like a full on fucking like master's degree in I forgot what he said it in the thing, but
Yeah, so these guys like they literally analyze the fights and they use your weaknesses against you. That's the whole idea, right? Like, because no one is perfect. I don't care what you are. Because
I saw this clip. You're speaking about the fighting nerds this week. You got coming up. You have Ian Gary and Carlos Prates fighting.
data scientist. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a data. That's what it was. So Ian was talking shit, saying that he's more Brazilian than Carlos is, because Carlos smokes American cigarettes and drinks Mexican beer or whatever. And it's like, come on, bro.
And Carlos still whoop his ass.
I want to see how this fight's gonna go. I really find it to be an interesting matchup. Who's this? This is Bobby Green getting fucked up. Oh, he was analyzing Bobby Green probably for Mauricio Hufi. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This spinning heel kick was just beautiful. I mean, boom. It's the way it skimmed, like the heel just skimmed right across the temple perfectly. I mean, it can't get more picture perfect than that.
Because see, here's the thing, right? A lot of people don't realize that an average person is an average person, right? Let's talk, since we're talking science, let's talk science. I think that, the society is divided, like, pi, right? Like that we all know that pi, right? So pi 1, pi 2, pi 3. Pi 1 goes to about 64%, and then pi 2 goes to about 94%, and then pi 3 goes to about 98%, right? That kind of encompasses the entire bell curve, right? Most people are within that pi 1. That's the 70% of the people, right? And the fighters are just like those people. They just might have 5 to 15% advantage over an average person, and that's what it takes, in my opinion, to get to that top level. right?
I don't agree. 15%.
Yeah, I think it's 15%, and then
that doesn't statistically make any sense.
no, 15%. Yeah, well, if you take 70 plus 15%, it puts you at about 85%, which puts you at the pi two, right? So then there's the pi one, which is like the very high echelon, the top of the top, right? Like the under 5%ers. But right at pi one, you're right at the 10%, right? Now, if you have the talent and you can get the coach that can bring the talent out of you and then increase that 15% a little bit more, that's what it is. Because at the end of the day, we're humans, right? Like, not everyone punches like Alex Pereira. Not everyone does. As a matter of fact, Alex Pereira is a unique situation that punches that hard, right? And I think that's all it takes is just being a little bit better than the other guy, right? So it's not just about being like athletic or this or that or the third. It's just being able to bring that out and then hone that skill and then get in there and then take care of the business, right? Because at those levels, when Volkanovski's fighting someone else for the belt, you don't think these guys are well matched? They're pretty well matched. It just comes down to the fight IQ, right? Like being able to exploit the tiny holes. Otherwise, those guys wouldn't be there, right? Any of these guys, any of the 20 that are in that weight category, they're all animals. You know what I mean? Each one of them is good enough to become a champion. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm trying to say, because like we're not that much different from each other as humans. I don't know. That's my take on it. I don't know if y'all agree with that or no.
I think that's where the fight IQ comes in. Like, it really is like a chess match. So, if you fake here, he's going to do this. Or if you throw a jab, he's going to do this. So then you can start putting stuff together. So if you know he's going to throw a jab, if you throw a straight, or if you throw your jab and he's going to throw a straight, the straight's coming. So now you can throw your jab, set it up, or fake a jab. He's going to throw a straight, duck under. Then you can pop underneath with an uppercut, set you up for a switch kick, something. But that's what I was talking about with this stuff is now starting to click. Before, when I first started, like even when you were seeing me hit the bag, that was maybe like a couple weeks ago. I'm like way more IQ fight knowledgeable than just there now.
I wonder how you're going to feel in a year because,
Yeah, I've only been doing the MMA striking stuff for like maybe a month and a half, if that. But it's an obsession. So like the way I felt about wrestling when I was younger is how I feel about fighting now. Like I've been watching nonstop and watching like wrestlers that are in the UFC that are fighters, like Cain Velasquez, DC, and just mimicking stuff that they do because they were such at a high level. No one could touch them. So I just watch them, and then I have like a bag at home, and then I'll start working combos of the stuff that I see, and then I'll try it out in sparring if it doesn't work, or I'll talk to Sam, be like, hey, I'm doing this. What can I tweak better to make it go flow better? And that's when you need a good coach. Like Sam's real knowledgeable about striking. So whenever I have a question, I bring it to him, and then we analyze it, figure it out, and then I start implementing it.
Yeah, a lot of it is like a chess match, like you said.
Yeah, no, it's gonna come to you even more. It's just the time on a mat, right? Like it doesn't lie.
Yeah, mat don't lie.
Yeah, and then catching. Okay, so because just like you said, everybody got a tail. Everybody favors one specific punch that they like to throw at all times that they don't get tired of throwing. You know what I mean? And then there's even when their hands go down, they're always throwing that one punch, right? So I think catching those and then just kind of going around it, that's what it makes it. It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu because when you roll with someone for the first time, you're kind of testing the waters. You don't know what they're going to do. But once they start doing something the first time, the second time, now the rolls start becoming much easier because you kind of know this is what they favor. This is where they're going. This is what they're going to do. This is what makes the white belts so fucking dangerous because you don't know what the fuck they're going to do because they're going to spaz out every time they fight with you, right? So, but somebody that's got a blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, like there's a game that they play and this is what they favor and they go for it. You know what I mean? So now you start, okay, I know he's going to go for it, so let me start defending and then putting my attacks from here, right? And then I think that happens when you get a little bit of more experience under your belt. You start developing your game, and once your game is developed, now I can if I'm fighting you and I can review that game and see, okay, where are your holes, where I can exploit, where I can do, and then which eventually both are doing the same shit, right? So they're becoming more complete fighter with every fucking fight. So
Yeah, honestly, I think like Adam said it best. You can do as much time on the map, but until you compete, competing is equivalent to at least 100 hours of training. Because then, if you're going and competing, now you're trying to implement stuff you learned off the fly, based off of somebody you never rolled with. So I totally agree with Adam when he said, when you compete, it's at least it's equivalent to 100 hours of training when you're in the gym. So I think it's most important. That's why I want to fight in September. Get a couple fight in September, probably fight in January, wrestle the U.S. Open in April, and then just dive into fighting. If I can fight every other month, just to get the fights under my belt, hopefully get a couple championship belts at amateur, and then go pro and just.
But that
ride the
has to be
wave.
strategic too, right? You don't
Yeah.
want any losses in that either, because like that loss can hinder you. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of like plow through that amateur. So you kind of have to pick the correct fights for it. You know, Russians are really good at doing this shit, right? Like when you look at the Russian roster of fighters before they make it to UFC, like who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? And then they get there and then they're handling business. So what it is like you have the skills. You know you have the skills. Why put yourself through a lot of like harm where it can possibly be an injury, right, which will cripple you? Why go through that if we know that you got it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Russians are very, very good at this game, you know. But I think it would be good, man. I think it would be good to see. I'd go watch it.
And that's the thing. That's why I like Eric so much, man, because he is looking from out, looking in. Where you're inside, you're training, and when you're a fighter or even in jiu-jitsu, like in your mind, you're like, fucking just sign the paper and we'll fucking fight anywhere, anytime. He's the one that's like, hey, all right, listen up. I think this is a good fight for you for this X, Y, and Z reason. Let's run this one. I got 2 guys for you that I think would be a good matchup for you, give you a test, but it also hinder to your skills. And he does that from the outside looking in, which is what you need for a fighter, because you need somebody to pretty much look out for you. Because, like I said, if you're a fighter, you're willing to fight anybody. Like, anytime, anywhere, it doesn't really matter. Fight you in the parking lot if I have to, you know?
It might not be a good thing, though.
Yeah. So that's why I think it's real big having, like, a manager that, like, knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Which,
you know, with time coming, you know, things are going to change, of course. You know, when you get to those higher levels,
Yeah.
things change, right? But yeah, so it's gonna be exciting to see, because you're like one of the big boys that I know, and you move differently. Like you move like a lightweight. You are a big boy, but you move like a lightweight, which is really good for you. And I don't think people expect that.
yeah.
You know, kind of there's that black fighter in UFC. You know, the one that does like the fucking spin kicks and all kinds of shit. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Is that the Panda guy?
No, he's bigger too. He's a heavyweight, but he throws spin kicks.
No, so Derek Lewis has done some like crazy extravagant stuff, but I think the one you're talking about is
He's shorter.
Chris Barnett.
Chris Barnett.
Yeah, the Panda. I think they call him the Panda.
Yes,
or whatever.
that guy, right here. Him. Yes, him. He'll throw the wild ass fucking roundhouses and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? And I think you move kind of like him. You kind of move like Chris Barnett. You know what I mean? Because you're light on your feet, just like Chris is. Well,
He does a when he wins, he does like this front flip and lands on his ass. It's fucking hilarious. He looks like a Pokemon coming out of the shell.
yeah, because I just like watching him, because you don't expect a big guy just like literally like whipping out this fucking roundhouse that will hit you in the head and you're
Yeah,
out.
he'll throw like spinning heel kicks and stuff. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I think now I'm not saying you should go out there and do the roundhouses, but the way you move, even just barely into it, yeah, the way you move even barely into it, you're already moving pretty well, right? Like even going around that, you know, there's that
He barely made it.
there's that video that you have of you boxing the bag, and the way you're moving around the bag, it's very fast. You know what I mean? People don't expect that. If I were you, I'd pull all of those off your Instagram, because people are gonna be looking at it.
Yeah, but they're gonna be expecting me to do that when I already have something else in the chamber.
Yeah, Yeah, but they're gonna know that you move, so they're gonna start. Like the less stuff you have out there, I think the better, especially in the beginning. Yeah, see, like he's fast. He moves on top, and he's very like fluid, and he's beating the shit out of. This is the Russian dude, right?
It's crazy to think that that dude weighs 265.
He weighs 265 for about 30 minutes.
If that. But
Yeah.
still, he has to cut to 265.
So what do you think he's at? Usually 293.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
close to 3 around
Yeah,
there.
yeah. He probably walks around 3, dude.
Where are you at with your journey on that one? Because I know you're down a lot.
Yeah, I'm still in the higher threes. I'm around 370, 368 range.
But you're down with 50 now? 50, 60?
Yeah, I started at 409.
Yeah.
Yeah, so almost 50 pounds, huh?
Yeah, I just, like I said, man, I just got, you compete for so long, you just want to be fat. Like, this is what it is. Like, when Patty Pinley's like, yeah, I blow up between fights because I train so hard, I get that.
Yeah.
So, that layoff, it took me, well, everybody blames, like, COVID weight. We couldn't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just rode that wave. And then for, like, another year or so, I was like, let me jump back into something, man, because I started hitting like a real deep. I don't want to say like depression, because I wasn't like I didn't feel myself. Like there was a fog there, and I didn't know what it was until I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I was like, all right, this feels kind of good. Like, let me jump back into something else.
If you don't have the physical, like that release of energy, like actual weight, they did this science on this. Apparently, like actual extra weight and no physical activity will coat your brain with this fucking matter that actually puts you into depression and into this like it's an actual chemical reaction that happens in your body. So as you start losing weight and you start putting extra hours on a mat and releasing the endorphins and stuff, and that starts counteracting and getting rid of that fog and all of that. They've done proved it already. You know what I mean? So what does Joe say? All I know. Can somebody read? I can't see that.
Joe Chase said, all I know is that I want floor seat tickets, bro. When you at a UFC main card fight, we partying in style after that fight. I'll bring tequila and cinnamon.
Well, what about
Trixie?
What about Trixie, bro? We're leaving Trixie alone.
And then Felix said, haven't had the privilege of meeting Borba in person, but really looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, Chris.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to
Felix.
looking to you, bro.
Wolf's talking about endorphins. That'd be cool to meet Wolf in person. Like I kind of want to meet him in person and then dress up like him and show up. You know what I mean? That'd be cool.
He's so dope. He looks like a dude you can just have a beer with. You know, like there's some fighters you're like, I don't know if he's cool.
Have you seen the cooking with Volk shit? Like,
No, I have not.
He does a bunch of videos of him like.
What if he's doing a
meals.
shoey? You doing a shoey?
Bro, that's a too evolved. Like if he ever came, bro, and he's like, just do a shoey, I 100% would take off like my work boot and do a shoey with him.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
Work boot is crazy,
Bro, that's how much I like that guy so much. I know he's coming, I'll probably bring a clean shoe. And
yeah, so he's got like a whole series of cooking.
Well, Volk was at one point. He was walking around at 220 when he was doing the rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at 220. Right now he's at about 170 walking around weight, and then he cuts down to 145. But yeah, like he was walking around at 220.
What do you think about like the weight cutting thing? Do you think that is something that they could eventually fix, or? I mean, one has been trying.
Yeah. So I'm now doing it a healthy way. So wrestling, it's
Unhealthy.
yeah, man. Like I don't know if I told this story in here, but like in college, I was weighing 325, and my coach comes to me. He's like, "Hey, you need to wrestle on Saturday." I was like, I thought I wasn't cleared to wrestle until like another month or so. He's like, "No, he's like, it's a big tournament, going against D1 guys. Like, I need your points for the team." And I was like, "Well, dude, I'm at 325." He's like, "Well," that's all he said was "well." So I knew what the fuck that meant. So I literally from Monday to Friday, I cut from 325 to 285.
Damn.
And barely made the weight.
Let's go, JR.
Oh, JR, the legend.
Yeah,
Damn,
he's been
so
putting in some time in the octagon. I've been seeing
how
him
the
working with Mercy, man, hitting those pads.
what was the process behind dropping that much weight in so little time?
It's not healthy, bro. But and like the
Yeah,
way
no, that for sure.
the way we did it too, if like the collegiate, like college collegiate knew the way we used to cut weight or weight, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus because people still probably do the methods that we used to do.
Yeah,
But the way that we used to cut weight is borderline torture. Like you, literally for food, you'll chew on ice, but not swallow the ice, spit the water out.
yeah.
Like just to trick your mind that you're doing something. Chew gum, but can't swallow your saliva, spit the saliva out. Fucking working out in sauna suits. I used to work out. I would wake up at 3 in the morning, start my workout from 4 to 6, go to class at 8, be done with school at 2, go early to the wrestling room, practice didn't start to 4, work out from 3 to 4, start practice, which is like another 3 hours, wouldn't get done till 7, and then go for another night run because I'm not eating, do schoolwork, wake the fuck back up at 3 to do this shit all over again. And you just get drained, man. Like when I weighed in, I needed help on the scale. My coaches and my teammates had to help me on the scale. And now that I'm done with college, I low-key did the DC thing where they're like,
Yeah.
they helped me on the scale. I was like, it was like bouncing between 285 and 285.2. And I made the weight and it was cool, man. Like I didn't get the outcome I wanted. I only went 2-2 at the tournament just because I was so dead, dude. I won my first 2 and then no energy. Couldn't keep anything down. Best thing is when you're cutting weight, I like to eat like the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because it tastes the same coming up, going down. So yeah, it's horrible, man. Because at that time your stomach doesn't keep anything in there, bro.
Yeah.
So it's gonna come up, and like chugging Pedialyte, chugging like watered down Gatorade just to try to get electrolytes in you. Luckily we had decent school, so we used to get IVs.
Oh, that was
And
they would like actually, yeah.
They would like IV us on Sunday after the tournament, like just laying there in like the whirlpool because you're just beat to shit and just fucking IV in. You borderline look like you're in the hospital just dying, man. It sucked, but I wouldn't change it for the world, man. It built me mentally. So you think when you want to quit, you're only 20% through with your mind. You can push past that little threshold to get going. And a lot of people don't realize that when they think, oh, it hurts. No, it hurts now, but keep going and you can still keep going, and which is hard to teach the kids this generation because I coach wrestling at schools right now, and the kids are like, I'm tired, it's hurting. I was like, everything you're doing, I'm doing with you. I'm doing the workouts with you. If I can get through it, and at the time I was weighing 400 pounds, if I can do this at 400 pounds, you sure the fuck can do this at 170. There's no reason for you not to be able to. You just don't want to do it because it hurts and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's like that David Goggins mindset of like breaking the next barrier and the one after that. And
Did you see the Israel Adesanya one where he's
Yes,
throwing up?
dude,
And
that's
David
what I was
Goggins is not
saying.
even breathing hard,
Yeah.
dude.
he's just chilling.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
I'll show you.
Izzy was training with Goggins,
Mhm.
and Izzy was like throwing up. They were doing the stair stepper thing.
Yeah, the Stairmaster or whatever. it was.
Stairmaster, yeah. And Izzy was throwing up, and he was just like nothing, and he was still chanting his shit. Who's gonna carry the boats and the log?
I think it's on Izzy's Instagram.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Bro, yeah. You want to talk about a badass dude? This dude ran a race that was supposed to be a 4-person race and did it by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the guy that was
I
talking
read
about
his
that.
book. I read both of his books. Well, he's got a couple of books, but I read 2 of the
Oh,
books.
there it is right there.
Yeah. Well, fucking Devin Goggins will go out there and do those
This is
fucking
it right here.
multi-marathons, right?
He does like the 100-mile ones. I
Mhm.
think he's even done a 200-mile one, and that was the one. I think it was like a 200 or 250, something like that. And that was the one that was supposed to be 4 people,
Yeah.
and he did it by himself.
And he had like broken bones in his feet and
Mhm.
finished.
Yeah. I mean, shitting himself and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
He got to the point where his muscles were so tight that that he like his body was quitting, and then he found the stretching,
Yeah.
And then when he started stretching, that released all that, you know, accumulated pressure. And yeah, he's on another fucking level, man. He definitely made a life out of it. Like, no one really does what he does. Like, he's like very unique situation, right? And I do think that has to do with genetics as well. Not everyone can do it. Like, you can, even if you have the mindset, I don't know if you can get to that level as David Goggins. Like, you have to have the genetics for
I think
it.
that's the whole story behind him. You saw how big he was?
Yeah. When he was weighing like 220 pounds.
Yeah, he's huge.
He was bloated.
No, he used to weigh more than that.
Oh, was it more than that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, because he's tall. And I've seen a picture and he looked like a fucking linebacker.
Yeah. Can you pull up a picture of him?
David Goggins when he was
before
biggest.
and after. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
That second picture. Yeah, that one. Just either one. Yeah. Like, he was big. But what I'm saying is, you genetically have to have the predisposition. Your body has to be able to recover quickly, right? Like, I don't think not everyone can do it. There's definitely a genetic component with David Goggins. It's not just.
I don't think so. Actually, I think he has a bunch of things that's like against him. There was like a bunch of studies that he's had done on his body, and like all these doctors are telling him like, I don't understand how you're doing this. I don't understand how you're doing this. I don't understand how you're doing this. It's all mental with this guy, bro. That was like if you go through his 2 books, that's like the biggest thing he talks about is like there's so many things that line up in his life to literally shouldn't allow him to be able to do what he's doing now.
No, I get what you're saying. Is definitely that there's that component. Well, okay, so if you break it down, okay, let's just say 70 to 80% of that is his mental game. But then there's got to be a little bit of 20%. Like, like if you have brittle bones, you can't do this shit. Like, if you genetically have brittle bones, you cannot do this shit. Like, if you have...
Yeah, but genetically, who has brittle bones, bro?
Well,
That's such a random thing, and a lot of people can do exercise and make their bones stronger.
Well, no, I went
and all that stuff.
I went to school with this kid, and we got in a fight. He grabbed me by his neck. I grabbed his finger and pulled it, and I snapped his finger in half. And it was just a tiny little pull.
How old were you?
Yo, Jay pulled the Kung Fu
15.
Panda.
Yeah, you pulled a fucking teenager's finger, bro.
No, but the kid naturally had brittle bones. He was known for breaking a lot of bones. Because
that's conditions that certain people have.
That's what I'm saying. So that guy cannot go out there and do a David Goggins.
Yeah, but most people aren't like that.
No, I agree with you. But
he didn't drink his government
component
milk.
To it.
He didn't get that government assistance to get that government milk.
He can carry the boats and the logs too. He just gotta train hard enough.
No, man. If that was the case, then how come only a certain amount of people make it to the Navy SEALs, man? Like,
because they don't fucking have the will. That's the whole point behind it.
There's more to it, man. And I also read the.
No, I don't think there's more to it.
I also read the Belzerian's book, man. It's not Belzerian failed, I think, 3 or 4 times to become a Navy SEAL. But then he made it after the third or fourth time.
Is that the whooshy finger hole?
Yes. That's what Jay did to the little kid.
He was out here whooshy fingering whole people.
That's breaking people's finger.
So, you know, Belzerian also went to become a fucking Navy SEAL, and he couldn't pass it 3-4 times. He had to go back to it, right? And the only way he was able to pass, and he talks about this in his book, he was on all kinds of fucking steroids at that point.
I think a lot of it has to do with your physical abilities, but you also need that mental to get through the
Yeah, of course.
You just gotta embrace the fucking suck. Like, that's just, it's gonna suck. Like, Ali said it best. He hated every fucking minute of training, but he knew he had to be great. Like, he knew that's what he had to do.
Well, GSP is like that too. Like, I was listening to Caro Parisian, and GSP and Caro Parisian are good friends, and Caro Parisian would be there. You know, it's Caro Parisian, right? So Caro Parisian used to be in UFC. He was the very first judo guy that went into UFC, and he was like mopping the floor by people, right? And him and GSP became really good friends. And he would go into locker, and he goes, GSP would before every fight, man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to go back there. You know, I don't know if I can do this. Like, he had this like anxiety about going into the fight, and to this day, you know, apparently he still does have that. But then he'll get in a cage, and then it all changes, right? Like, once you're in a cage, right?
I think that a lot plays to his mental stuff too, because he used to say he used to get bullied, so I think he just doesn't want to look bad. So a lot of that has to do with his mental thing. Like, like my degree's in psychology, so I like studying the mind of stuff. So like stuff like that comes from like a trauma that you don't want to deal with. So like when he's like, oh, like when he fought Nate Diaz, he should say Nate Diaz was bullying him. Oh, and he hates bullies. I think that's why he took that fight so personal, is because it tapped into his childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think same thing happened with Sean Strickland and DDP. That whole fight with Sean Strickland when he's like,
Were you
please
guys
move
aware?
out of the way, and then jumps to.
Were you guys aware of the beef that, not beef, but what Sean Strickland was saying about this particular influencer? He was gonna beat him up if he came over to spar with him.
Well, he's been talking shit about influencers a lot. He sparred Sneeko as well. He beat the shit out of Sneeko.
He almost knocks this kid the fuck out so many times.
Yeah. Who is this kid?
Nick Narsana.
People do a lot for likes, man. It's crazy.
I wouldn't take brain damage for likes.
Did he throw an elbow?
Yes. Yeah, he's elbowing him.
And he almost throws a kick.
Is he?
that would fucking
Oh, he
put
is
this
wearing
kid
an
in
elbow pad. I was like, is he
Yeah.
at least wearing an elbow pad?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's off to the side,
So he's legit hitting him with his elbow.
basically, because the elbow pad isn't
At
even an
first,
elbow.
he was just like throwing
Like, it's like-
punches, but then he definitely.
It's towards
upped
like the
intensity.
back. You see it?
Yeah.
The pad is like literally.
It's like on his
the,
tricep.
It's literally on the back here. The pole pad.
That
Ooh.
kick right there. That would have fucking
Boom.
sent him.
He probably just got over chasing this kid from running from him.
I just don't understand this whole thing of him going after these influencers. basically.
Damn.
What is he trying?
Damn.
What is he trying to prove? I don't get it. Like, is there
Damn.
even a question that he can
Elbow
whoop on
again.
Is there
Again. He's elbowing the back of his head, bro.
is there even a question that he can beat the shit out of an
I think-
influencer? You know what I mean?
I think he's trying to put these guys in their place because a lot of these dudes come, like, they are riding the Jake Paul train. Like, now Jake Paul can actually box. Like, he's been training to box. So, like, he's obviously skilled enough to box other people. But, like, these
well,
guys...
Jake Paul yet to fight an actual fighter, right? Like the one person that he fought who was an amateur boxer and he lost to him, and that was the
Oh, furries.
Ferguson,
Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury, yeah.
Yeah. But these guys are riding that wave of, like, I want to fuck with MMA fighters just for likes, which is crazy to me. Because these dudes are killers. Like, they get paid to make you bleed.
Yep.
And you want to come and fucking talk shit to these guys and not think you're going to get hit in the mouth, which is, it's the wrong community to talk shit to.
Especially
think
Sean
they-
Strickland.
I think
Dude,
they
John
understand they're
Strickland
gonna
is
get hit in
so
the mouth, but I don't think they understand the level at which these guys operate. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, they don't understand the reality of the injuries that can happen and stuff like that. I mean, this kid's trying to talk like Muhammad Ali. Like, come on.
That's like
Fuck.
that's like those dudes that come into the jiu-jitsu gym and like, oh no, I want to roll with the instructor. I'm like a 100 and whatever fight on the streets type of guy.
Yeah.
Those guys annoy the shit out of me, dude. Like,
I think that happens to the wrestlers a lot. Wrestlers will come in with their wrestling background and they think they can go at it, and then I usually with them I'm just standing up straight up, right? Like for a wrestler, that's fucking heaven to go for the legs, and but yet they can't,
yeah, and they get guillotined.
and they get guillotined
Yeah.
immediately.
I learned that.
Darst or whatever. Yeah.
I don't have a neck to get guillotined, but I knew if I had one, I would have got guillotined.
Yeah,
So-
wrestlers are terrible at it.
Yeah.
And the first thing they do, they die for it,
Yeah.
and then the head is right
Or
there.
like
and they
when-
think they took you down. Next thing you know, they're getting fucking
My favorite
shoved.
thing was when I was training at the gym. The very first like wrestler we had came in, and he like wrestled in like high school and stuff. Wasn't like an actual like devoted wrestler, but that was like the only prior martial arts experience he had, right? And I remember right before we start rolling, the professor tells me, "Oh, he used to wrestle." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Okay," and I just sat down right when the fucking bell rung, and I remember the face of confusion on this kid, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Come on, I'm already on my back. Like this to you, the fight's over. We're just getting started, bud. Let's
Yeah.
go."
No, I don't even do that. I'll get up there, especially if it's a wrestler. I'll stand up. Why go down? Like you were a wrestler,
Because they're
right?
so
Prove it to me.
confused.
Yeah, prove it to me.
They're
that
so
you're good
confused
at
when
it,
you
know?
when you pull guard. They're so confused because it's like, okay, what do I do? Like maybe like just establish, try and pass the guard, and establish side control, and then beyond that, what else? What else is there to accomplish? And now once they get on top of you and establish control, it's a bitch to get them off. But it's almost like the fact that you're welcoming that, it throws them so off. And attacks, like, when you're doing jiu-jitsu and you're playing bottom, you're ready to attack from bottom, and even staying on bottom during the attack and everything. Sweeping is an option, but sweeping wrestlers is not easy. And they don't expect that. They think that you're either going to try and sweep or escape, not that you're going to try and sit there and play with them while you're still on your back. That's my favorite part about confusing the shit out of them.
That's why I like rolling with guys that, like, there's certain guys in the gym that are like higher belts, and then they just want to beat up white belts because they listen to like Joe Rogan, and they're like, you just need to choke the shit out of white belts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but so they do this. So I don't tell anybody that I wrestled. Like when I roll with them, like even when I went to like Cali to go roll at some of these gyms, I don't tell them I have any wrestling experience, because they as like higher belts, they're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna fuck this guy up because I can.
Yeah.
So I'll like let them start working the thing. They'll do like their shots on me. I'll like let them pick my leg up, and I'll just wizard or whatever, and they're like start to panic.
Yeah.
And then I'll start arm dragging them, doing like reshots in. And then they're like, I thought you were a white belt. I was like, yeah, but I wrestled in college. They're like, why didn't you say that? I was like, what you were so confident that you were going to kick my ass. You never asked me. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you I wrestled.
Yeah.
But to me and you, we're the same thing. You do jiu-jitsu, I do wrestling. If you're not going to ask me, then I'm not going to tell you.
Well, see, here's the thing. I know. I do kind of agree with Rogan why you choke the shit out of the white belts. Why? But it's not because you choking the shit out of the white belts to prove dominance. Is actually
refining offense.
The refining of the offense. That's where it comes in. You need to choke the white belts, because when you're getting with somebody at the same level, you don't get those opportunities. And 80 to 90% of the time, you're stuck in passing guard, and only sometimes you get opportunity to execute a submission, right? But because you're only getting one or two, 3 times to execute the same submission, you're not getting enough practice to execute the submission properly. That's why it's good to choke the shit out of the white belts and blue belts, because now you're getting a lot more opportunities to do the same submission over and over and over again. But you have to come in with an idea. I'm only taking back, and I'm only doing rear naked chokes, or I'm only doing arm bars right now, or I'm only doing, head and arm triangles. Like, you have to put yourself in that position, not be opportunistic about it. Okay, or I'm gonna move. Okay, I'm gonna start establishing positions only. If I get the submission, I'm letting it go. I'm gonna continue establishing position. And the position establishment is I want to get on top. I want to have mount at all times from all the angles.
But there is people in the gyms that have that little chiismo where like they're in there being
chip on their shoulder,
being malicious.
Yeah, of course.
And those are the guys I like to roll with. That's the ones I'm talking about. It's like the malicious guys. They're like trying to hurt somebody because they know that they're better than somebody, just so they can get like a little pat on their back from themselves. Like, I kicked the shit out of this dude today.
Even with the wrestlers,
I hate rolling with those people.
Even with the wrestlers, like,
I love it.
I step in with the wrestlers, and then I'll see what energy they give me. If they're quiet and nice about it, we'll go at that same speed. But the minute you're going to start increasing, that's when my arm is going to start getting under your chin. That's when I'm going to do strained arm bars and things like that on you, right? So, I got a couple of dark strokes.
I want to be able to roll with someone that's looking out for my back as well. Like, if we're not in competition, we're practicing. All right, so I don't.
Yeah, but that depends on you. So here's the thing: if you're not turning up and they're turning up, you have to match that energy. You have to match that energy. If they turn up, nobody's saying that you have to turn up. Don't turn up. If they're not turning up, don't turn up. But the minute they start turning up, you have to turn up, because that'll happen a lot of times in a row. You'll start easy, and then somebody turns up, whether it's you that's turning up or the other guy that's turning up. Now it just starts off nice and then goes into something else, right? But then there's times where it just starts off crazy,
Yeah, those spazzy guys is what is the ones that, like, we had this one dude that came in to the gym. I'm not gonna say his name, but he brought his girl with him, and she wanted to roll, so she's like, came over. She's like, "You want to roll with me?" I was like, "Not really, but I'll roll with you." So I was like, pretty much just wrestling her with like one arm, and he got mad because she was rolling with me. So the next round, he comes over. He's like, let's roll. I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. This dude comes and tries to like club my head. I was like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then he tried to club me again. I was like, yo, chill out, bro. And he didn't. So I fucking went. As soon as he went to club, I went for a body shot. And I body locked him, picked him up, held him up, was talking to him. I'm holding him up, put him down. I said, no, I could have slammed you right now, but I'm being nice. Chill the fuck out. So we finished the roll, ended up choking him out a couple times.
Who is this?
I don't see him at the gym anymore, but he used to come to the gym.
Big tall white boy
Yes.
with a small.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
He
had no chill, bro.
No, and he literally came up to me at the roll. He's like, "Thanks for not slamming me." I was like, "When someone asks you to chill out, they're not telling you to be like a dick. They're just telling you like chill out because you're escalating it to another level where they know that they're gonna be at another level and you're not gonna be able to handle it." And some of those guys they got to learn the hard way, and
that's what I'm saying. White belts are fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
Because they don't know their own strength, you know. After about a month or two, when a white belt trains, after a month or two, it's a little different game now.
I think even in the beginning, because I'm still a white belt, I still rolled nicely.
No, but you had the experience. Nobody. No, you had the experience. You can't.
It's different. It's like
yeah,
because
you technically you're technically a blue belt. Technically, like if you went to IBJJF competitions, they would not let you go in as white belt. You would have to go in as a blue belt.
That's like the Naga. They said I couldn't do any white belts.
Correct, because of your wrestling background.
Yeah.
You can't. You just can't. It's just not a fair game because white belts they don't know their ass from their head yet. You know what I mean? So,
JR said same. Likewise, same in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So same with like sparring, man. Like you get with these guys that see like the fights on TV, and they think that's like the speeds you need to go. When like on Tuesdays we do technical sparring, and this dude was like throwing haymakers. I'm like, relax.
And that's another thing, you know, talking about the haymakers. While we're at it, guys, if you're in the chat, can you throw us a, like, share, whatever, that does help the algorithm. But anyway, I watch people, like, the coach will be holding pads, right? And these guys going at this fucking maximum speed, beating the shit out of the pads. Like, unless the coach says, hit it harder, why are you hitting these pads so hard? You understand that this motherfucker got shoulders that could technically get all fucked up because he's holding the pads for you and he's teaching you, but in the meantime you're trying to fucking hurt him. Like if he tells you go hit it harder, then hit it harder. That's
the biggest compliment ever is when you're hitting pads and your coach tells you like, all right, so like pick it up, and then at the end they go, fuck, my hand hurts. That's the biggest compliment ever.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's your coach, right? You don't want to fuck up his shoulder because he's the one that's teaching you. Fuck up his shoulder. Now your training gonna suck because he's coming in with a disadvantage and he can't be just as fast going pop, 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 pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like when you first start sparring, for me, I know I have a lot of power in my punches. So when I throw them softly because I can't control the power. So it's slow and soft when I first started. Now I'm being able to control, like I can control the speed, but yet still keep the power down because you pull off. So when we're doing like the technical sparring, like they'll fire off and I'll start firing back at them. Now when I get to like their chin, I'm like just touching. Like it's more of like a and then back.
Yeah, you learn to like flick the punches.
Yeah.
Basically, where it's just like a little snap, so where you're just basically tapping them,
Yes, even Jared says, bro, that's why I don't hold pads anymore for brand new people. Yeah, it makes no sense because they're trying to, because they watched so many Bruce Lee movies. Now they think they're Bruce Lee because they watched the movie, right? It just makes no fucking sense,
Pads is so fun. It's one of the best parts of striking.
I think it's the inherent genetic ego that men have. Like,
yep.
That when you're at the red light and you're trying to race each other, you don't even know the person, but you're racing each other for no fucking apparent reason. You're just doing it.
And both
I
get
think
tickets.
and the same thing transfers over to the gym, right? Like you're coming in and like, because everyone.
I think that has to play to a lot of social media stuff because when you watch like dudes hit pads, they're like fucking throwing haymakers, overhands, fucking just throwing shit, but
they're not 10 days, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just fucking throwing haymakers in like these videos that they post, but what they don't see is the technique that they're doing. They're not seeing the fucking you slipping jabs, you coming over the top, slipping jabs, uppercutting. all they're seeing is fucking
Yeah,
you just
see-
throwing these things.
See,
man.
sometimes they don't even know because they're tired and just letting it go.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that 16-ounce glove, it's a 16-ounce glove. Like it's a weight that drags that punch. You know what I mean? So
I think they just want to be Tank Davis in the sense where, like, when you see someone that's, has some experience in striking and can hit pads fluidly, especially when you get to the point where, either your coach is just showing you a look and you understand what strike they want you to throw, or like even just throwing off combinations quick enough where you're not stopping, where it's nonstop, like left two this, boom, 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 and just keep going back and forth. Everyone sees that and it looks cool. It looks fucking awesome. It looks like it's a lot of fun, and it is. But it takes fucking skill, and it takes understanding and experience. And a lot of people don't understand that, and they come in and they think they can be that fucking Tank Davis or fucking Ali or Mayweather and just hit the pads like a
because they
G.
shadow box in a fucking mirror at home.
Exactly, because they
coaching.
watched a fucking Bruce Lee movie or some shit. Like, and that's what happens is these guys come in and they want to be fucking like the ego. Like I said, they like you said, and they think they can do that.
You know what my favorite is? I'm seeing on a social media where they do that stupid stance of like this, and then this is how they're boxing each other. You know what I mean? And then be like fucking swinging from like all the way from the other side,
fucking
bringing
windmilling.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. That's another reason why I stopped watching fights in public, because like going to watch the UFC fights was cool, watching it at like bars and stuff because you're going with buddies. But I don't know what it is when you get alcohol mixed with watching fights, dudes. I saw this research and it says that guys think that they can fight 400 times better than what they really can fight. And so I stopped going to these bars to watch the fight. So I'll either watch it at the gym or I'm watching it at home, because I know at least at the gym I can talk to the other fighters, or I can talk to Jay, be like, oh, Jay, look at his pass he's doing, or he's about to hit this guillotine. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's not tight enough, because he's a higher belt than me, so he's telling me more stuff. Like, oh, it's not tight enough. He just needs to circle out his body this way, and then he pops out. Stuff I wouldn't know. So I'll talk to him, or I'll talk to, like, some of the other guys, because we watch fighting differently than we watch, than normal people do. All they see is them just doing this lavish stuff, and then you're like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. And then they get that liquid courage, and I don't know what it is. They always want to fuck with somebody with cauliflower ear, or they want to fuck with somebody that looks like they fight. And most fighters are like, nah, bro, you got that.
I'm
Like,
buying a drink for the dude with cauliflower ear. Fuck you talking about?
like,
I want him on my side if shit goes down,
No, not even that. I mean, somebody got a cauliflower ear. Why are you fucking with them? First of all, why are you even fucking approaching and talking to them?
That's what I'm saying. That's the dude I want to buy a drink, not fuck with. You
Yeah,
know?
and that's what it is. And I think it's more of like that young, dumb, full of,
Come.
yeah, and testosterone. "Oh, I got this, and when I see red, no one can stop me. Like,
oh, dude.
I did see that same stat though. Like it said, most men overestimate their fighting capabilities by 400%.
Yeah.
Most men that are alive nowadays, 400-500 years ago, they would not have fucking survived.
No.
Because 400-500 years ago, think about it this way: some motherfucker in Ireland, in Spain, in Italy, in France decided to get on a fucking boat with scurvy, Lyme disease, all kinds of other shit.
Gangrene.
Yeah, cross the fucking ocean through the elements, get to the wild west, where people just shot each other
you
for
talking
no
about, bro?
fucking reason.
Mickey's family did that about 20 years ago.
Yeah, but then he also did that
About 90 miles.
in a almost damn near 20th century. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna cover my family here. They all came by planes.
They all came by plane?
I wouldn't say
I don't believe
most.
it.
Yeah, and then like little did they know, JR is like the fucking number 2 ranked 125 pounder in bare knuckle boxing. You know what I mean? Like somebody tries to pick a fight with him, even though he's shorter. Like I'm shorter. Like they try to pick a fight. Like you don't know what the fuck you talk. Like you don't know who you're talking against.
That's
you know?
gotta be like
The best part is JR says that he's the smallest guy in the group, but yet he probably has the best hands in the group.
Yeah.
So they're gonna pick on him because he's the smallest, but he's the first one to knock a motherfucker out.
Yeah, and he's fucking used to knocking bitches out without
Yeah.
the gloves. You know
with
what I mean?
ease.
Yeah, without the
Yeah,
gloves,
dude.
you know. So it's just, man, that. So as I said, majority of dudes or women at that point would not have survived if they were 400-500 years ago. Like they would not. Like that would not fly through. They would have been shot, or they would have been fucking beat to death. You know, that's what would have happened. And another thing is, I noticed this a lot. Guys are guys. You know, they still understand. Like you say some fuck shit, there's a fight, and you can possibly there's some danger there, right? But what I noticed, a lot of like younger girls nowadays like fucking getting into these fights, and then they'll just jump on a guy and try to punch a guy, or they'll jump and try to pull each other's hair and punch each other. Like, I don't get that part. You know, like that's to me is fucking fool.
I saw one video the other day. It was this dude. He was like trying to get into an elevator, and it was three girls. Like, they were clearly drunk, right? It was like late night somewhere. He's trying to get in the elevator, and right as he like the elevator door is closing, one of the girls like goes to hit him, and that like they were like dogs. Like, one of them bit, and they all fucking started going at him. And this dude's in the elevator just trying to like block himself off. And at one point, they're all just hammering all of them, bro. Like, just fucking hammer fist, boom, boom, boom. He fucking right hooks one of them. Bitch drops instantly. The first punch he threw dropped one of the girls. After that, bro, he started fucking jabbing all of them, and they all had to back up. They had to pull their friend off the floor and shit. It was so bad.
It happens in the hood all the time, bro. Every time I go back home, I don't know what it is about these fucking young people, dude.
Yeah.
And like, these guys will come and like try to check you, and like, dude, you don't know who the fuck you're talking to majority of the time. Like, you can't judge a book by their cover because they can know something that you don't know. So like, this one dude was asking me where I was from. I was like, dude, I'm from right here, right now. And he's like, took it. Obviously, he didn't know distance. So this dude took a step closer, and I fucking grab his shirt, backhand him, arm drag him. He goes straight to the concrete. So then I take his back, and then I'm just fucking sitting on his back, and I'm just choking him like in a rear naked, but
370-pound Chris sitting on your back. Breathe, bitch. Breathe.
Not even like choking him just enough where he can breathe, but not enough to put him out. And I just kept him there. And I was like, dude, obviously your dad's not in your fucking life. I'll be your dad today. Like, and I'm just like, this is why you need to stop doing stuff like this. Like, this just like trying to talk to him as he's fucking getting like borderline choked out, borderline not choked out.
And then what's that British actor, the one that does a lot of action movies? Bold, he's bold kind of.
Bruce Willis?
No, he's bold. He's British.
Bruce Willis?
No.
Bruce Willis can't even talk right now. Oh,
doing Jason Statham style when they open.
Sorry,
their mouth,
that's who I meant.
Him.
That's who I meant. Bruce Willis is American.
Yeah.
Jason Statham. Yeah.
it's just a bald guy.
Bald white dude, bro. Sorry.
They open their mouth, you slap them on their mouth, like, shut up when I'm talking. You know what I mean?
Dude, my pet peeve is dudes hitting women. And at this fucking Sam's Club on Park Boulevard, I shit you not, bro. I was literally in fucking shorts, a tank top, cowboy hat, fucking slides. Like, horrible outfit, dude. And this dude's slapping this fucking lady. And that's like my pet peeve, dude. I can't fucking stand that shit. I literally walk over, catch his hand, fucking slap him. And he looks at me. I was like, fucking hurt, don't it? And I slap him again. And I was like, if I ever catch you fucking hitting this woman while I'm sitting in this parking lot, I will beat the dog shit out of you, call law enforcement myself, and let them know I did kick the shit out of you, but he also hit this woman. I was like, do we understand each other? And he's like holding his face, and I fucking hit him one more time, and then go back and sit in my car and wait for my girl to come out of fucking Sam's Club. And she's like, I hope I didn't have you waiting that long. I was like, no, we're good. And like,
I had some entertainment to take care of.
And I didn't even fucking lose the hat when I was slapping him, which is the best part.
And I think that's partly is the 21st century, right? Like, where those situations, like, you should never lay your hands on a woman.
Fuck
ever. Ever. No matter what the situation is, you shouldn't, I know a lot of people say equal rights, equal left, like that, you shouldn't do it. Now,
hands are rated E for
everyone, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Like, except for women. I won't hit women. And if it's
for everyone.
And if it's a kid and he's related to me, he can get these hands. But like, if it's like, I was at Walmart, dude, and this fucking kid was yelling, hitting his mom. And I fucking look at my girl, and I'm like, dude, if she doesn't hit this little motherfucker, like, somebody needs, being a Mexican and like in the Latin community, like, you fucking act any kind of way out of line, you're automatically getting fucked up in the store and when you get in the car.
I got bopped so many times just for asking for shit.
Yeah.
It's dude. Like, can I get this? No. Okay, and then as a little kid, you're gonna ask 3 more times, and you get fucking smacked for it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But a lot of times, like, the social media, all these like hood, like the World Star and all this shit, like, puts this idea into men's and women's head that they can go out there and fight it out against each other and then get some sort of results, which is fucking dumb. We've made the society so fucking safe that an average person has no fucking clue what kind of damage someone can cause, especially someone that's trained in fucking people up. What kind of damage they can cause by them stepping to that person and saying some wrong shit, like, right? Because, like, you know, this is where you get these fucking influencers stepping in the ring with Sean Strickland thinking they can do something.
Yeah.
Thinking they can at least let out one punch. But instead, they're just getting walked, you know what I mean?
Which is crazy because he's knocking out other professional fighters. Like, he's beating the shit out of other professional fighters, and you don't have a lick of training, and you think you can come in a cage and fight somebody like that, dude? Like,
Even if they had training. Even if the person
I don't
had
even
training.
think they can.
No,
I think
no,
they're just doing it for the fucking.
They do,
views.
but they're like,
I think
well,
even them inside know that they're not going to get anything done.
I can guarantee you, in their head, they're thinking, at least I'll touch his chin once or twice.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think they do, bro. Otherwise, why are you getting in that fucking
bro, all
ring?
he's gonna do is that
Relax.
little Philly shuffle, fucking jab at you, kick you in the fucking stomach, and then go the overhand right. That's his fucking go-to. Jab, jab, Philly shuffle, overhand, fucking throw a kick, sit back, jab, jab, fucking overhand right, throw a kick.
But he wouldn't even need to do the second time. Like, just the first jab would have been enough to drop somebody because they don't know how to. I just don't know, man. Like, I think we made the society very fucking safe, and everyone just kind of we have made the society extremely safe, and no one has an idea what it takes anymore, right?
So I pitched something
It's
at
a
my
good thing.
I pitched something at my work, and it got shot down immediately. We were in a fucking meeting.
What are you trying to do? Get Becky and
No,
the
so
other Becky to
I
fight
sent
each other
you
for money?
I sent you the video that I saw on Instagram, and I was trying to get like, obviously sometimes you don't like people in your office, so if you just have a disgruntled issue with somebody, just fucking close the door, throw some boxing gloves in there, and whatever fucking happens. It instantly got shot down.
Yeah, they didn't
No,
entertain
dude,
that.
I was-
HR was knocking on your door the next day, be like, Chris, we need to have a conversation here.
My supervisor was like, "Are you saying that we need to solve stuff with violence?" I was like, "No, but sometimes violence is necessary."
Yep. Sometimes violence is necessary. Look at the line. Look at the animal kingdom, bro. When the little cub steps out, what does the mom and dad do? Smack him. You know, so I don't know if violence is ever like an answer.
No,
But violence is never an answer, right?
but sometimes it's necessary.
It's not the answer, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so honestly, what it would take for you now to actually get in a fight with someone? What it would take?
Someone touches me.
So someone either has to touch. So
Touch
you
me
can
or someone
that I
care
love
about,
or care
yeah.
about. So like, you
To
can.
me, if they touch me, I would like, yeah, you got this. I would still walk away.
Yeah, so I'll give you one touch. Like, if they push me, if they like give me like a shove, I'm like, that's your one touch.
That's your one pee touch?
That's your one touch. That's all you're getting. Because if you come at me and try to push me again, I'm fucking hitting you, taking you to the ground. You're gonna go to fucking Suplex City. You're going somewhere. Because you're not gonna get a fucking another touch on
John
me.
Cena. Dun, dun,
Dude,
dun, dun.
That shit, I'm like, all right, dude, you got one touch. That's it. And you already used it. So now what? And unless like, but if I'm like with my family and there's someone being physically aggressive towards me, it could escalate. Like, so if they do something to me, knock me out, now they can do something to my family. I don't give them that option.
Yeah. That's different.
So I keep distance. So I always have a hand out like this. So as soon as you touch my hand comes down, the fucking right's coming. So this is I'm pretty much throwing a jab up like this.
Yeah.
As soon as you fucking go like this and smack my hand out, and they always put their fucking weight into it, like, whew, you're leaving your chin smooth the fuck open for me. And that's only happened maybe like 2 or 3 times in my whole lifetime.
Yeah, I don't
Another
know,
reason
man.
why I don't go out.
Yeah, but then there's, JR had a point. You guys carry pew pew. Shot time. Oh yeah, it is, Eddie. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I don't care if you're a fucking lightweight champion, heavyweight champion. 9 mil beats it all.
Yeah, because that's another thing, especially being. I tried pushing Chris once. He did not move. give up immediately. Yeah, it's hard to push fucking Chris, man. I've tried stand up pushing Chris. It's not easy, man. And I have a pretty good base. Like, not a lot of people take
I'd like
me down.
to see you compete. You've seen like those people do on the beach, like football, like college football and stuff like that.
Or
And
they
just,
run people over.
and they just run at each other. It's a big thing in like
Nah,
Hawaii
bro,
and
I
stuff.
think that's dangerous. Chris would
It is
fucking,
dangerous.
That's fucking
Chris would put a
CTE
concussion.
when-
Yeah, I
it
was
is.
about to say
Because-
that's a concussion right
Because I
there.
played college ball too, bro. Like, and I played O line and D line. All we do is fucking just hit heads all day.
Yeah.
While the receivers look pretty out there. Like, all we do is just put another man in the dirt and fucking just fuck them up, bro. Now I don't play. I can honestly say I'm the fucking dirtiest player I know. You can ask anybody that I played with. I used to wear metal cleats, and it's illegal.
Yeah.
So I used to wear metal cleats just to spike motherfuckers' hands. I used to
Damn.
fucking have the bottom mouthpiece so I can bite people. Like, I was the dirtiest motherfucker I know. Like, and I never got a penalty. And,
Easily break a sternum. And if he breaks a sternum, that's just, that person was lucky. Shit. We're talking about a spinal. It's a spinal break. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a broken back. It's spinal. You know?
yeah, man. And then I would have a change of cleats on the sideline because I know the refs are going to come check me at halftime. So I would just have the same cleats, but not metal spikes. So they'll be like, "Oh, you have normal cleats." They're complaining about metal spikes. I was like, "I don't know what they're talking about, dude." And as soon as like we get through warm ups, defense go out there, I'll fucking switch my shoes again. And like I was such a dick when I played football, dude. Like this dude had dreads, and I tackled him and ripped his dreads out and we're fucking swinging him around.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
You're
I was
grade
a
A asshole, huh?
Oh, 100%, dude. Like, I was such a dick when I played. And all the refs knew I cheated, but could not catch me.
Damn.
Like, my uncle used to be a ref, and they would have meetings, and they would watch game film. And they would see me on film fucking cheating. Come to the next day, be like, hey, or not next day, the next week, and be like, I saw you doing X, Y, and Z. I was like, that wasn't me. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, just keep it clean. I was like, yeah, I always keep it clean. And then the fucking same game, I'll fucking be doing the same shit.
They just can't catch
Dude,
you.
I only got one penalty my whole fucking high school career. And that was only because they fucking put an extra ref just to watch me. Yeah, dude, I was such a dirty player, 100%.
Damn. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up for today, guys. It's getting a little late.
Yeah, so
here.
but before we wrap it up, congrats on the sign-in. Hoping you can get that fight.
yeah,
pretty
can't wait
soon.
to see what's next for you. man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've been seeing you putting in that work. I mean, you're probably one of the only guys that I see that sweats there all the time. And every time I see you, you got a fucking big heart sweat stain right on your shirt. You know what I mean? So you're putting in work, man. It's nice.
Yeah, can't wait to see what's next for you, brother.
All right, guys. Hey, please give us a like, share, whatever, guys. You know the drill. There's a couple of you in there. If you haven't done it yet, that does help us a lot.
Anything else you guys want to leave the people off with?
Thanks for the comments, fellas.
Yeah,
It was
appreciate.
Cool interaction with you guys.
Alrighty, guys. We'll see you guys next week. We'll be back Tuesday. Maybe
Next
have a
week
guest
we
on.
got a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a guest.
Okay.
Guest.
All right. Well, make sure to tune in, guys, on Tuesday, 9 p.m. We'll see you guys then. See.
Peace.
Jeez.